Let's have a look. Right, I think we should be live, I want to say. That says live. Let's just have a look over here. Let's just go back over that way. Mute that. Cool, yes, we are live. Right, I'm just going to send a few messages across on like Facebook and stuff. Just to make sure everybody gets in there. YouTube, cool, copy. We are now live. Post. Live, tweet that. Very good. Cool, alright then. Well, we are there. Cool, Kim's in, so it looks like that's working. That's always good. Fingers crossed people come across. Let's just give them all a few minutes to join us, I guess. Make sure everybody gets in alright. Yeah, really easy. It was one of the easiest things I've done since being in quarantine, which is always good. Lovely, look at that. Cool. Kim's just texted me a image that we're there. Perfect. Oh, morning Ian. Welcome in. Nice to see you again. Ian's been at all of our webinars so far, Mike, which is good. It's really nice to see. Okay. I'll go through who we're joined with in a minute, but I'll just give people a couple more minutes just to get in, to join, and then we'll go from there. Oops, make sure I don't do that. Cool. We've also, Mike, we've got a couple of our staff in the chat as well, so they can send some stuff. If you could just say a couple of things just to make sure people can hear you, that'd be perfect. Not currently, hang on a minute. This one worked the other day, so this is always not good. Hang on. Siobhan there. This is really nice. So this worked the other day. 2 secs, Mike. Right, okay. Right, it is live, I guess. Right, what is going on with that? Okay, so that's not. Why can't I hear? Okay, yeah, right. Let's just go with. Try that one instead. Does that change anything? Can you just speak to me again, Mike? Right, okay, 2 seconds. Let me just. I know it worked when we were using these the other day. Again, try again for us. Sorry.
Okay, testing.
There we go. Right.
We're in, yeah?
Yeah, I need to change headphones, so hang on. Unfortunately, you're going to have to look at me in my lovely big headphones today. That's hopefully you should all be able to hear them now. So I've got some sound on my screen there, so if we can just, if everybody can just confirm for me in the chat, make sure you can all sort of hear and see. Well, I know you can see, but make sure you can hear me, you can hear Mike. Apologies for that.
Again.
I did something very silly. I tried something different today, which I didn't try when we were testing it out yesterday. I tried different headphones, which I shouldn't have done. So that's my fault. So cool. Okay. Well, we'll get underway then, I guess. So welcome everybody to our third webinar. Today's webinar is aimed fully for the self-employed and what support there is. So this one is in conjunction with QuickBooks, which I'll go through in a second. So if we just go to the next slide there, Mike. So
yep.
For those of you that for whatever reason might not know, but I'm Jack Revis. I'm one of the directors at Revis & Co. You can see my lovely picture there on the screen. Do look a bit different. I've got my quarantine beard going on now, not quite as cleanly shaven as I was in that lovely picture. But I'm also joined here by Mike. So Mike, want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so just a bit about myself. You can see from those pictures as well, you know, we've got our lockdown haircuts. So as well as being clean shaven, yeah, I think our hair's grown a bit as well. Uh,
Definitely.
so just a brief intro to myself. I've been with QuickBooks for 4 years. Um, my role is to support accounting partners such as Rebus and Co. And Jack and the team to make sure that, you know, people like yourselves are automated, saving time and getting good efficiency. So you know you don't have to worry too much about all the tax bits and receipts and things. You can just focus on what you love doing, which is obviously running your business.
Perfect. Lovely. Okay, so I'm going to just go through what we're going to talk about today then. So we're going to go through HMRC's response to COVID-19. So included in all that is the grants that are available, the schemes available, the different things they've put up for you to help you out as self-employed. Also, I'm going to go through later on as where you can go for more support. So whether that's us, potentially QuickBooks, the different HMRC lines and numbers you can talk to, and all those few other bits. And then Mike's going to talk a few things about QuickBooks today.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna show you one of the products we've got. It's the QuickBooks Self-employed product. And very briefly, I've picked 3 or 4 key features that I think might add the most value. So one is just where you can see an estimated tax bill, how to send professionally looking estimates and invoices and have logos on there, how to take pictures of receipts and track mileage easily, so yeah, you're not missing out any expenses, and you can Jack can help you to minimize your tax bill.
Perfect. That's a nice one. Right. Okay. So going straight into it then. So I'm going to start, as I said, with the support that the government have released for the self-employed. I'll quickly run through a few bits and bobs, and then we're going to obviously the big one at the bottom there, self-employed income support scheme. I'm going to talk loads about that later on after this. But so to start off with, there's the deferral of self-assessment income tax payments, which are due in July 2020. So if you had a payment on account that you had to pay in the upcoming July, you no longer have to pay that. That has been deferred until the 31st of January 2021. So what that means is quite simply you just don't have to pay it in July. And there's no penalties or interest or anything like that that they're going to add on if you do decide to defer it. You don't have to do anything for this deferral. It is automatic. So if you don't pay it, you simply just don't have to pay it. So as I said, payments in January next year, no penalties, nothing like that. So if you really think you can't pay it, then don't. If you think yes, you can pay it, then I would suggest potentially looking into that and actually still paying it, because otherwise you could have double the tax due in January, so it might make it a bit harder in January for you to actually pay that. So definitely look at your options, talk to us, we can then help you figure out, is it worth paying, is it not worth paying. The other deferral is VAT payments. A few of you may be VAT registered, so if you are VAT registered, then between the 20th of March and the 30th of June, they have deferred all VAT payments due. That doesn't mean you don't have to do a VAT return. You still have to submit your VAT returns as normal. It just means that any payments due between those two dates you don't have to pay. So pretty simply, if it falls in that, it's the same as the other one. It is an automatic deferral, no penalties, no interest. That one is deferred until April 2021, so it has to be paid by the end of this current tax year, so the 2020-2021 tax year. And what I will say with both of those though, if you have a direct debit set up for those payments, so mainly VAT, but potentially for a self-assessment payment, cancel it. If you have that set up, they will not be cancelling for you. HMRC have actually said if you have a direct debit set up with us and you do want to defer it, make sure you cancel those payments, otherwise they will be taken as normal. So make sure you double check that if you want to use that scheme there. So the next one I'm going to look at, grants for businesses that pay little or no business rates. So a few of you may fall into this, a few of you might not. So basically, quite a simple one. There's a small business grant of £10,000, and there's a grant for leisure areas, hospitality and retail, which is £25,000. So there's two different qualifiers for this one. To qualify for the small business rate, you could be in any sector. All you have to be basically is a business. So that pays little or no business rates. So you sort of have to have a business premises, but you have to have small business relief basically to qualify for that scheme. If you're at home and for some reason you've opted in for business rates on your home premises and you get small business rate relief, then you would be eligible for that scheme as well. But it all comes down to that small business rates relief. That one also is capped at on your rateable value between £0 and £15,000. So if your rateable value is over £15,000, then you won't qualify for that grant. The other grant to talk about is the retail, hospitality and leisure sector. So it's a £25,000. So this one, your rateable value needs to be between £15,000 and £50,000. And obviously you need to be in either of those three sectors. It's not based on business rates, that one. It's more of if you're in that sector and your rateable value falls within those categories, then you can apply for those schemes. So these schemes come from your local authority. Most local authorities have actually opened up an application scheme, so you can go onto their website and apply for these if you are eligible, and then they'll get back to you. We have had them paid out, and they're normally between 2 weeks they're paying them out. But we've got all the links on our website from most local authorities near us. So if you just go to our website, ribsco.co.uk, there's a link on there, or go type in ribsco.co.uk/coronavirus. You've got all the links there for you, and then it'll take you to your local authority. And there's a couple that aren't on there. And for example, Winchester, of all places, when I last looked, didn't have application online. They were actually writing to everybody, and you had to reply via post. So that's how those ones there are working. But so it's pretty simple, that one. But if you think you might be eligible, obviously contact us and we can help you out with that. Next point, increased amounts of universal credit. So these next 2 points here are really the ones that are going to affect most self-employed. So if you're out of work, you can apply now for universal credit. So they've increased the amounts and they've reduced the income floor. So I've got it up on my screen. So since the 30th of March 2020, so they've changed the way the payments are worked out because of COVID-19 coronavirus. So the payments are no longer calculated using an assumed level of earnings called a minimum income floor. They are now based on your actual earnings. So before they would assume what you were going to be paid, but now you just have to supply what you are paid or not paid, if that is maybe the case, and then you can apply for that. So but if you've already applied and your calculations were applied using the minimum income floor, they may be changed, and you may be able to contact them to get that changed. I'm going to ask Kim actually if she can post a link for me. So she's got this fantastic link that basically you can go onto this website where the government actually tell you to go as well. It's basically you can go on there, type in your earnings and all this, and it will give you an estimated income potentially from universal credit if you're going to be applicable for that, or if you can get anything from that. And I think she's also got the other link there for the official website, but she's going to post them for us. So go on there, type your stuff in, have a look, and then basically just apply for that if you feel that you're eligible for that. The government have also said with universal credit, you can use that in the interim for the self-employment income support scheme, which I'll go on to in a minute. But so basically you can apply for the universal credit now, and then in the future when the income support scheme comes available, that basically will just stop. So because it's based on your actual earnings, they'll look at, cool, so you've got no actual earnings now, brilliant, and then when the income from that scheme comes in June time, May, June time, then they'll take that calculation into effect, and then basically universal credit would potentially stop unless you're not getting as much from the other scheme, and then it will just balance out. But that's how they'll do that one. With universal credit, it's an online application. You don't have to go to any interviews anymore, so it's all done online. You may get a phone call, like a phone interview, but you don't actually have to attend any job centres to get this anymore. So you just go on their line. If you just Google universal credit, takes you to the gov.uk website, and you can just go through, click apply, type in some details, and then basically it'll take you, and it will tell you at the end, I believe, whether you're eligible or not. But if you use that link, Kim has put there for the check and the entitlement, which is perfect. She's also put the one for actually applying, so check them out, and then you'll be able to see if you actually are able to get that one. So now moving on then, the self-employment income support scheme. So this is the big one, the one that everybody is talking about, and what everyone probably is actually trying to get. So here they've released a scheme for the self-employed, so the self-employment income support scheme. So this scheme is there to support self-employed, so individuals and partnerships, members of partnerships who've lost income to coronavirus, so COVID-19, as it says there on the screen. So basically, if you're not working now, or your work has dropped off significantly, then you can potentially be eligible for this scheme. So as it says there as well, it will allow you to claim a taxable grant worth 80% of your trading profits, and I must highlight that trading profits bit, I'll go through that in a minute, but up to a maximum of £2,500 per month for the next 3 months, and that's starting March, so March, April, May. So that's when they did that. It may be extended, which I am expecting it will, because I don't know, you might not know, but the coronavirus job retention scheme has been extended by 1 month already, so that one is now running for 4 months and not 3 months. So I would expect this scheme also to potentially be extended if it hasn't already, and I could well have missed it. So with this scheme then, so we're saying here, so it's about your trading profits. So to be eligible for this scheme, you need to be self-employed, and you need to have trading profits. So your trading profits need to make up 50% of your income. So we'll start off with, how do you get your trading profits? It's your sales minus your expenses. There's your net profit. That's your trading profits right there. Okay, and what I mean by your trading profits must equal at least 50% of your income is basically, if you have income, say, from dividends is not trading profit, and then you've got income from, I don't know, you are a painter and decorator, so you also do that on the side. If your income from dividends is £10,000 and your income from the painting is £5,000, that doesn't make up 50% of your income, so you won't be eligible for this scheme. But if it's flipped and you make £10,000 on your self-employment side and £5,000 in dividends, then you'll be eligible. So it's all about that 50% there. Your profits also cannot exceed £50,000 in a tax year. So if your profits are more than that, then you may also not be eligible for the scheme. But the way they start to work out is based on the last 3 tax years, if they're available, not the 2019-2020 tax year. So you have to have submitted a 2018-2019 tax return to be eligible for this scheme. If you did not submit one of them and you only went self-employed in the tax year just ended, so the 2019-2020 tax year, then unfortunately you won't be eligible. Sorry, those numbers there, those different tax years. Don't want to get confused. So if you didn't submit the 2018-2019 tax return, then you're not eligible for this scheme, which is unfortunate. But if you have submitted one, then you are eligible for the scheme. So they will take your earnings or your net profit for the last 3 tax years. So say if your earnings were 10 grand each year, your net profit, sorry, not your earnings, they'll add them up to get to 30, then they'll divide them by 3 to get your average net profit or your trading profits for the year. And then basically they will then take that average, divide it by 12, and that is what your monthly grant would be based on. So obviously then you'd get 80% of whatever that is. If you don't have 3 years worth of tax returns, you've only got 1, you've only got 2, it will just be based on those tax years that are available. Okay, so those sort of things is how they're going to calculate it. So there's a few other bits that you need to bear in mind is, so if you are going to try and be eligible for this scheme, then you can still be trading. So with this scheme, you have to have traded in the 2019 tax year. So if you stopped being self-employed last April and you weren't employed or anything like that, then you're not eligible. You have to have traded in the tax year just ended. You have to have been trading or would have been trading now if it wasn't for the coronavirus. So if you stop trading, say, I don't know, the start of March, because then you got employed, then also you're not eligible for this scheme. You can also continue to trade whilst you receive this grant from the government, but you must have also have lost trading profits due to coronavirus. So if you are up and running as normal, no different, then you may not be eligible for this scheme. So, but you should have lost something because of COVID-19, which is majority of people, unfortunately. So, we can help you to get this scheme, but the way this scheme is going to be applied for is HMRC are going to be contacting you if they feel you're eligible by mid-May / end of June. They're hoping to actually get in contact with everybody by mid-May. So you cannot actually apply for this scheme, unfortunately. So the way it's going to work, they're going to contact you, and we are assuming that you will then have to fill in a form that they have predetermined with what's going on, a few of your current circumstances, and basically from that they will then determine whether you are eligible or not. HMRC already hold all the figures for you, obviously, because you've submitted a tax return, so they will then work out what you can claim, and then they will pay that to you to a UK bank account. HMRC are going to contact you by either email if they hold one, post, or through your government gateway if you have one. If you do not have a government gateway, I would highly suggest setting one up. It's useful throughout the year anyway, because you can see like what's going on, how much tax you owe, and all these sorts of things. But I really recommend setting one of them up, because they might actually push you towards that to be able to do the claims on that. And if you don't have a government gateway, they may not be able to set you up, because normally they send out a code in the post which can take up to 10 days to actually get it set up. They may have waived that now because of all this, I'm not sure, and obviously there's less posts going on at the moment, so I'm not entirely sure what their thing is there. But if you haven't got a government gateway, definitely set one up. I don't know if someone can post in the chat for me a link to the government gateway where you can set one up. That would be perfect if you could. But that's definitely something that you should really look into where you're going there. So I think that's pretty much everything on that scheme that I can think of. One other thing actually I will mention, if there is any directors in here, unfortunately you're not covered by this scheme. You're covered by the Coronavirus Job Retention Scheme. That is a definite. Partnerships, they're also covered by this, but it's based on the members of partnerships, not the partnership itself. And I think I've pretty much got that there. But if you've got any questions, I should have said this earlier, but put them in the chat. We will answer all questions at the end. We'll have a quick Q&A, nice live Q&A as well. So put them in there. I've got, so that our staff are in there. They're going to be sending me the messages across as well, just to make sure I don't miss any. But that, I think, is everything I've got there about a self-employment income support scheme. But there's a lot to take in there. So obviously, if I've confused you in any way, drop me an email, or this is recorded and it will be on YouTube later, so you can watch it back just to see all this. And also there is plenty of support which I'll go through in a bit online. But I think that's all I've got. So I think I'll hand over to you now, Mike.
Okay. So I'm going to do a quick demonstration of the QuickBooks Self-employed products, as well as the phone app as well, which I've got connected here to the computer. I guess just to kind of complement what Jack's been saying, I mean, this situation is obviously very unfortunate, and we have so much deep empathy for self-employed sole traders like yourselves, who are really kind of at the brunt of some of the economic impact here. The reason that we want to show you some of this stuff in product today, as well as give some guidance on the legislation, is because if you have had business that's been put on hold or dropped out, and there's a bit more time on your hands to kind of look at your internal processes, it might be a good opportunity to see if you can streamline your operations now while it's quiet. So when we come out of this and business starts to pick up again, you're almost going back into it as a much stronger and more efficient operator than before. So that's kind of some context while we're putting that in here. So just gonna share the other screen now. Okay, so first thing I just wanted to show you is if you go to quickbooks.co.uk, click either sign in here and go to QuickBooks Self-employed if you want to find the product. But if you go to plans and pricing, the product that we're actually going to look at today is not here on the first home page. So you have to click this tab here. So it retails at £8 a month. We usually have some sort of promotions on, but yeah, if you are interested in this, speak to Jack. Jack is a elite QuickBooks partner, so he's got access to the best preferential pricing, and he's also got the most experience with it. But you can see here that you've got the full set of features that this product comes with. Just to point out, for those of you that are VAT registered or handle foreign currencies, it's probably not going to be the self-employed products you'll need. You'll probably want to look at some of the others, such as Simple Start, Essentials, or Plus. But always speak to Jack first, and he'll be able to give you some guidance there on that. Okay, so first thing you'll notice when you sign into a QuickBooks Self-employed product is you've got a big dashboard here. This is just asking you some things to set up, which Jack will can do for you. But you've got a big dashboard here, and you've got a left-hand menu bar here. You've also got a gear icon up here. So to navigate, it's just really those three areas on the web, really. What's good about this dashboard is that you can log in on your phone or on the web anytime, and you can just have a glimpse in terms of what your expenses have been over the past few months, your profit and loss, and probably the best bit is the estimated tax bill. So it's so common that sole traders kind of wait, sitting on their hands to the end of the tax year, knowing that they're going to have that chat with their accountant, and they're going to say, right, your tax bill is X amount of money. And then it's like, oh, I need to account for that. The advantage of this is that it does it in real time. So as you go through the year, just by logging in, if it's set up correctly, you'll be able to see what your estimated tax bill is. So there's no nasty surprises there at the end of the year. That's helping you, to manage cash flow a lot better and put money aside there. The next thing I wanted to show you was invoicing. So what I'm going to do is just click on this left-hand menu bar and go to invoices here. So I know and grew up with quite a lot of friends who are sole traders. My brothers-in-law all work in construction. My auntie's a hairdresser. So one thing that's quite common that we noticed is that to get estimates and emails out to customers, the standard kind of process is to put an email together, copy and paste in maybe parts from the other email, just with the work that's going to be carried out, pricing, bank details, etc. So the thing with that is it can be quite clunky to do. We find that the time of day that most sole traders get their estimates and invoices out is actually at the end of the day. So they'll take note of everything they need to send out, get home, get into their email, and start to draft these invoices and estimates. The problem with that is that that's time you could probably be doing other things. You could be doing, more fee earning work, or you could be, spending time with your family, whatever it may be. So the idea here is this invoicing system is you can very easily create professional looking invoices and estimates and get those out to clients very quickly. So I'm just going to click on the create invoice button here. But before I do that, you can see that just by logging out, you can see all the invoices here that have been sent out, what stage they're at. And then, Jack can show you how to mark them as paid as you go through. But to create an invoice initially, we just click on that button here. We just put in some basic information. So if you have entered a customer more than once, it will remember. And all we're doing here under the description is just adding the work. So painting living room, For example, that's a flat rate at £250. You add it to invoice. You can add more work in here as well. So bathroom, let's do an hourly rate, that one, and that's 100. And let's say, you know, you want to add your materials in as well, which is by item, paint pots. I'm going to put in here, and let's say there's 3 of those, and they're, I don't know, £10 each. Let's say I'm making these numbers up from thin air. So you save all that information there. The pay details here, you basically just put in what your bank account details are. You'll notice there that you've also got the ability to set a payment terms on that invoice. So this is a standard 30 days. That just means that, you know, it's easier to keep a track of who owes you what money as well. So yeah, it reduces the time having to chase client for bills, because they can clearly see when the due date is, and you can track on it a lot better than you would do through email or otherwise. You can save the details here for future invoices as well, so it takes less time. And then as simple as that, you just click on the send invoice button here, and the client will receive an email to get that invoice. So before I'm not going to actually send it, but I just want to give you a preview of what it actually looks like. So you can see there, this is kind of the format. It's a lot more professional looking than an email template, and if it helps you get your invoices and estimates out quicker. And you can imagine, you know, if a client, you know, goes to 3 of your competitors as well as yourself, I think, you know, coming across professional with a good invoice template, as well as being able to, you know, get your quotes up quickly, should put you in good stead to win that business over other providers. Just one last option there with the create invoice. So you've got an edit work info button here at the bottom. From here, you can just drag and drop or upload a logo if you wanted to. I don't think I've got any appropriate pictures to put in it, unfortunately.
There's a picture of me.
Oh, there you go. Put a Jack in there. You can see it just uploads in instantly.
Logo, really good logo.
Fantastic. Yeah, pre-lockdown shave and haircut picture. So yeah, just add it in there. It just gives a better look and feel to it as well. So that's kind of what the invoices look like on the web device. Now, if I just switch briefly to the mobile device, okay. So hopefully everybody can see that.
Yeah,
perfect. So you can download the Self-Employed app on, you know, Google Play or the App Store. There's no extra, you know, fee for it. It's one product. It's just a better viewing experience on your phone. It's designed for when you're out and about. So if I click on the Self-Employed app on my phone there, you can see at the bottom, the menu bar is very similar to the one on the web-based version. So if I go to, just to show you how easy it is to send an invoice, if I go to this plus icon here, oh, so it's on the mileage. If I go to the invoices button here, so that's one, pressing once on my phone. And then go to the plus icon, so that's 2 button presses on my phone. And then you can add your customer in here. You've got your saved ones, or add them in manually. You've got your products and services, which are saved as well once you've added them once. And then I can just email that out instantly. So yeah, here's the information there that's pre-populated as well. So really that is how easy it is. You don't need to be doing this at the end of the day. You can do it while you're out and about. If somebody wants an invoice, get it to them straight away. It will save you time, and it will ultimately mean you get paid faster and win more work. So that's the invoices part. The next bit I wanted to show you briefly was receipts and expenses. So I'm just thinking of one of my brothers-in-laws here, and he keeps a notepad in his van He's a decorator, and his receipts in a glasses case in his van. So what happens is the logbook he uses to track his miles, and the receipts I say use because he uses this now. He uses he keeps but often loses. So the problem with receipts is that if you lose them or miss them out, when Jack comes to prepare your self-assessment, he can't minimize your tax bill as much as you're entitled to, because there's things missing or paper receipts get destroyed, etc. So very simply, just by logging in, click on this transactions tab here and going to the plus icon, you've got the option here to snap a receipt. So if I click on that, what it will do is actually bring up my camera, and I'm a bit short on receipts at the moment, unfortunately, but feel free to test this out with Jack. You take a picture of the receipt, and what it will do is just automatically put it into this transaction account here. Jack can then log in, and he'll be able to categorize that transaction for you to minimize your tax bill. So it's really as simple as that. You send your invoices through this, you log your receipts, and yeah, that's all there is. Sorry, here's my company trying to send me messages on my phone, and yeah, you minimize your tax bill, you get more invoices out, but it saves you a lot of time as well. So that's the idea behind it. And then last but not least, I just wanted to show you the mileage tracker here. So every QuickBooks Self-employed product has a built-in mileage tracker. The idea here is that if you're writing down your trips in Microsoft Excel or a notebook, or even just on your phone, you're going to miss things out, and it's going to be timely for you to go back and backdate and update your mileage. So it's going to take you more time, and again, you're probably going to miss things out due to human error, which means again Jack can't kind of minimize that tax bill for you. So all you do is to set up the mileage tracker, you click on this mileage bit here on the app, or you can do it on the desktop. You click on the auto tracking button there, you turn this on, you add in the vehicles that you operate, and it uses a motion sensor. So when you're driving along, it will start tracking for you as long as this app's turned on. The self-employed app's turned on, this auto tracking's on, it will just collect the mileage for you. So just to switch back to the web-based product to show you where that information gets collected. So just back into the desktop here, you just go to this miles bit here, and every journey would just be logged here for you, and it will help Jack to work out all the rates in terms of how much you can claim for mileage to, again, minimize your tax bill. You can add, it shows you how many miles you've driven throughout the year, and if you do need to backdate, you've got the option to here quite easily. You just add trips in manually. Again, it will use it just asks you to put in some basic information, so you can add them in manually or import them, which Jack can help with really as well. So that's kind of all I really wanted to show you about this product. If you've got a bit more time on your hands, it might be worth looking at something like this, just to streamline your operations. When we come out of this, you can really kind of grasp the opportunity that's going to be there, and hit the ground running to get back up and running again. So now I'm going to just hand back over to Jack briefly. He's going to talk you to some of the support that's available.
Lovely, yeah. So a few things I want to go through. Obviously, it's on screen there, but I just want to echo something that Mike was saying there about looking past what's the current and looking at the future. I was trying to I've been talking about this quite a bit recently, about make sure you take those blinders off. Don't start worrying, oh no, I've not got no work now, what's going to happen. Think about past this and how you can come out of this the other side, and exactly what Mike's saying, but get your business in a better place, so then by the end of this, you'll be so much stronger and you'll be able to hit the ground running straight away as soon as we're done. So I just wanted to echo that because that was a great point. So so the other support available then. So not necessarily government backed, or some of it is, but so I'll start with the coronavirus business interruption loan. So this one is available to businesses and self-employed. The only thing is it's a minimum of a £25,000 loan. So you have to, with this loan, produce quite a lot of information as well for lenders. You have to also go to the bank that you currently bank with to be able to get this loan. Most other banks will just automatically reject you because of all, like, they already know you basically, so they're not taking on new clients. There was rumours that potentially Barclays was taking on new clients, but it's not confirmed, so I'm not entirely sure. With this one, we can help you with it. So we've got a few different loan people that we talk to who can help us with them and get you going with all of that. So if you want to go through this one, then let us know and we can help. As I said, it's a minimum of £25,000 up to like 5 million, so it's quite a broad loan there. It's 80% government backed. And also for the first £250,000 loan, you don't actually have to have a personal guarantee anymore, which at the start you did, but no, there's no personal guarantee on that anymore. So it's it's quite a good loan. The interest rates, there is 0 interest for the first year of that one, first 12 months. So it's quite a good loan, but obviously the interest rates after that vary from bank to bank. At the start, a lot of banks were whacking them up quite high, but they did get told off for that, so they've sort of come back down to earth a bit on that. They are also starting to accept more and more. There is a lot of people that are being rejected on this loan, but I think that's an issue there with the banks and so on, and what how they're being funded for it. So it's not the best route for everybody, but sometimes it is. But we can help you with that, because when we talk about normal loans, we can also look at normal loans for you. We've got a few lenders and stuff, or brokers that we go to for you, that we can actually talk to them and look at loans and actually help you out fully with all these different loans. And the way we're running it as well with that lender, different lenders, if we go talk to them, is basically we're running 2 applications parallel. So a coronavirus business interruption loan application and a standard loan application. So you've got both sides, so you can be able to compare them, or if one side is, you've rejected, or the other side vice versa. So there's that potential there. So normal loans are still happening. They haven't been completely frozen. There are still a lot of lenders, even though the interest rate currently is really, really low. Most loan interests have actually gone up a bit, unfortunately. So, but if you want us to help with loans, just reach out, drop us an email. We can look at them for you and with you. Just a heads up, you need a lot of information for these loans. They need accounts, bank statements, potentially management accounts, cash flow forecasts, debtor lists, creditor lists, all sorts of stuff that they might want from you. So if you are looking at potentially going down the loan route, try and start to have some of that stuff available. Obviously for self-employed, they'll also want like tax returns and all that sort of stuff. Most of this information we will already have for you, but other bits we might not have. So if you do cash flows, we did email out a cash flow forecast spreadsheet not that long ago, so get on that, have a look on there. So that's one thing I wanted to talk about as well. So obviously the cash flow forecasting, that spreadsheet, really simple to use. Put it in there, it can give you some heads up for the future of what's going on. So we're giving out as much support as possible to our clients. So we're doing at least weekly emails. We're giving you update emails of all sorts of stuff. These webinars, this is the 3rd one we've done. So obviously try and get on them as much as you can. Sorry, yeah. The first 2 were more broad. They were more business and self-employed. This one also we've teamed up with QuickBooks to do just a self-employed one. We've also got a lot of support on our website. So if you, as I said earlier, go to roofsco.co.uk/coronavirus. There's a lot of support on there, lots of information. There's a couple of links to furloughed employees, all sorts of stuff on there. So if you need any of that, go there. We're also still at the end of the phone and at the end of our emails. We might be at home, as you can probably tell, I'm not in the office, but we are pretty much up and running completely. Only difference is you can't come to the office and we can't accept paperwork currently to the office because of logistics of getting it across to our employees and everything. So that's the only difference really. We're up and running as normal. The phones are all sorted. We can transfer between people, so there's no issues there. Other thing we started recently is podcast. There's going to be a new podcast tomorrow as well. That one's actually about the job retention scheme and furloughed employees. And then next week we're probably going to be doing something on self-employed. But just a 15-minute video each week. Get on there, we're having a bit of fun, just having a chat basically between like us internally, just about what's going on and what our thoughts are. So it might give you an insight of how we're actually thinking and trying to figure out what to do basically. So that's also quite a good one there. On the bottom there, you've got COVID-19 support. I briefly mentioned earlier different websites. The government website, gov.uk, go on there. There is tons and tons and tons of information for businesses and self-employed. There's all sorts of details about what's going on. There's more in depth about how they're going to be calculating the coronavirus self-employment scheme. There's all sorts of stuff on there, so make sure you check that out. So obviously I can't talk about every fine detail on this webinar, otherwise it would be hours long and you'd all be very bored. So go on there, have a quick read through it, and honestly there's tons and tons of support on there, so please check that out. But otherwise, if you get stuck for anything, just contact us, give us a call, and we can help you out. So we're all here, everybody knows what's going on. So originally I was mainly on focusing on all this, but we're now shifting, so more all of our staff basically know about a lot of the stuff now. So talk to them, reach out to whoever, what contact you've got, give us a call and someone can definitely help you out. So that's sort of that there. I don't know, is there anything else you wanted to jump in on, Mike, on that one? Anything?
Yeah, just to kind of react back to your point. I mean, there's so much information on all of this, which has just been tried, which has been pushed out by HMRC and the government quite rapidly. We tried to consolidate it as much as possible today. But yeah, if there's more questions, ask. Jack's definitely your man, as well as the COVID-19 support site, really.
And one other thing, check out our socials: Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We're posting a lot on there and information. Facebook and all that stuff. And Brad's just put in a fantastic number, which I asked him to remember to put in when I asked him to put it in, and I completely forgot to ask him to put it in. But that number there that he's just put in there is it's a helpline. It's a time to pay scheme, which I forgot to mention about earlier, for other taxes. So if you're employing one payroll, a corp tax, or like self-assessment or anything like that, that is your number right there. So call that number, and they'll be able to help you out to basically defer any tax or come up with a payment plan for you. It's done on a case-by-case basis. We can't call for you, unfortunately, but check out that number, because I completely forgot about that one. But yeah, definitely go in there. So cheers for that, Brad. If anybody's got any questions, please post them in there now. So we're going to do a quick questions and answers if anybody's got any. So let's give it a couple of seconds just to see if any come through. Because currently we've got none, so I think that must mean we've done a good job.
Absolutely.
All everyone's thinking, oh god, if I ask a question, it means they'll be here longer. So we'll see if anyone comes in. But if not, so hopefully we've covered most stuff anyway. But as I say, yeah, check out all those links, check out everything, see what anyone's got on there. Let me just check, see if anything's been posted over here or not. No, okay, that's fine. Let me just go back in there. Well, so far there's no questions. I think potentially then I think we might have done all right. But as I said earlier, this has been recorded. It will be up on YouTube. Normally, because it records straight onto YouTube, it's on there within around half an hour. As I said, I'll post some links about that on our socials and all that. But and then if you really want, you can rewatch it. If you want to look at our beautiful faces anymore, then you can by watching it over and over. But I guess if there's no questions, then I guess we'll conclude it there then. Well, thank you very much for joining us today. We really appreciate your time. Obviously, stay safe. Everybody, keep well. Mike?
Yeah, thank you all for your time. Again, just to say, I understand it is a very difficult time, especially for sole traders, but yeah, we'll get through this, and there'll be a lot of opportunities on the other side. So
it will indeed. So yeah, just keep positive, keep thinking of the outcome and not just right now. So yeah, so keep safe, and thank you for watching. So we'll catch you all soon.
Brilliant. Thanks everyone. Cheers.